So we're down to the last one. I'm not gonna do auxiliaries or anti-air because I feel like those topics are kind of whatever. Auxiliaries, just many scenarios as to which ones are good, and I've pretty much covered which ones I think were like the best in other videos. As for anti-air, anti-air is just a weird topic. Maybe I'll do like a really a short or something for anti-air, but very negligible. Anti-air is not a big topic, so I'm not gonna cover too much about it. We just discussed over a year for this DPS, so. Planes and guns done. We're all set. Oh, there's also torpedoes as well too. Wow, I don't. I'm probably not gonna do torpedoes. I'm not gonna worry about it. If enough people ask, maybe, but I don't want to do torpedoes. Torpedoes are one of those topics where I'm not like super confident. I like low rainbow ones. Some people don't. I'm not gonna get into topics about those though. Whatever. Anyways, torpedo bombers, the last one I'm going to make as of right now, unless something else changes. Right, let's get right into it, guys. The first topic is going to be Ryuuseis, the classic converging bombers, the first one added to the game. These bad boys are still very, very good to this very day. 106 on plane health, 307 times 3 on damage, 11.37 seconds on the reload, which is slow, by the way. 3 torpedoes, some anti-air stuff, and then this is where the big kicker comes in. This is the damage output right here from these torpedo bombers. These are very, very good. Very, very good planes. You run these for converging. Now, it doesn't really tell you if it's converging or not, like anywhere. I think it may tell you in the game, I forgot, but it does not tell you. So I can tell you as of right now, these are converging bombers. There's 3 in the game as of right now. And these are pretty much meant for bossing. Very, very good for bossing. A classic. People use these for years now until Junkers came out. So you already know. It is pretty damn good. It is pretty damn good. So that being said, let's go ahead and do a quick ranking for these bad boys. You can't go wrong with it. It basically goes wherever you need bossing. So bossing content A. As for campaign and stuff, there are way better options out there for torpedo bombers, so you can't really justify using these. As for OS, we'll give it maybe a B because there are scenarios where you need these for just bossing, and there's scenarios where you need a farm as well too, so keep it right in the middle for that. Ryuusei, definitely a classic for bossing by all means. Right, the next one is going to be Blackburn Firebrand. Now, this is going to be one of those weird topics because all these planes build into Wyverns, or these upcoming ones are going to build into Wyverns, so it's hard to really give a thorough analysis on these because you're pretty much going to use them for foddering to the higher tier. At least I hope so. So, regardless though, if you guys want to think of it this way, I'll be using Barracudas as the benchmark torpedo bombers for parallels because it's gonna be a lot. So I'm gonna be using this as a benchmark because it's the earliest one. It is basically a Barracuda, but on the slower end. So probably not a fan of this compared to actual Barracudas. So in terms of actual like content or whatever, we'll definitely give it C pluses because it definitely can get its job done with wave clearing. It's just there's way better options out there for wave clearing. So can't really justify using these. As for bossing, can't really talk much about that, so we'll give this the solid C pluses across the board because there are better options, and D for bossing because parallel bombers aren't great for bossing. So there is that. I bet. Wait, that was on Blackburn for a second. I guess not. Right. The Blackburn Firebrand. These are the planes here. All right. So closing these off, the next one we have is going to be the Blackburn Firecrest. Now this one has the same damage as Barracudas, just maybe better anti-air and a little bit slower on the reload by 2.2 seconds. But overall performs just like Barracuda. But for the real part though, you use these to make the Wyverns. So that's the main purpose of these planes, just to serve as fodder for Wyverns. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Just performs just as good as Barracudas. And that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy about this one in particular. It's just parallel bombing. Gets the job done. We'll give it B's across the board for farming and campaign. OS, I can also maybe give this, I'll give it a B minus. Bossing, definitely are way better options out there. So we'll give it C minus because it's not the slowest, but definitely isn't the best for bossing by all means. Right. Don't blasting duties. This one's gonna be really easy because either it's converging or parallels. And if there's parallel, there's way better options out there. Just bossing, there are scenarios where you can mix and match, so it's good. The next one are the French ones, the Bréguet. I hope I said that right, or Bréguet Br.810s. Again, these are just as good as Barracudas, but slightly faster and has more anti-air. So just like the performs just like or just similar to the Blackburn here, we'll probably give it the exact same rating as the Blackburn because they are more or less the same. It's just reload is about a little bit different and maybe anti-air stuff. So whatever I gave Blackburn, I give to the Bréguets as well too. So Blackburn, B C minus. Okay, so B C minus. B and B minus. Okay, B and B minus. Alright, cool. We'll give that across the board. Oh, I spelled that wrong. That was my mistake. I can't believe I even spelled that wrong. I don't know why I highlighted Blackburn there. I apologize. Right, there we go. Cleared that out. Right, next one is Douglas. So Douglas here has, again, the same damage as Barracudas. Everyone has the same damage as Barracudas, guys. It's all 340 damage right here. It's all the same thing. The only difference is that there's 4 torpedoes instead of 3, so by all means, this one's guaranteed to be better than Barracudas. So, very good there. It is pretty slow on that spectrum, though, by 12.17 seconds, but 1 extra torpedo means more damage, so it is definitely worth it. I give this one a slightly higher rating compared to actual Barracudas, by all means. Definitely not the worst plane out there. Pretty good for parallel clearing, I will say. So, campaign, we'll give it a B+. Farming, we'll also give it a B+. Bossing, we'll give it a C. As for Operation Saiun, definitely not the worst. We'll give it a B as well, too. This is definitely an upgrade compared to the other torpedo bombers we have. So, Douglas's are definitely really good. Again, these are all parallels except the Ryuusei so far, so keep that in mind. Right, the actual Barracuda. So again, this is the benchmark one. We'll be giving it the same ratings as the previous planes we talked about. That isn't Douglas. So again, this is one of those scenario guys where all these planes are more or less just Barracudas. Maybe a little bit faster, maybe a little bit slower, but for the most part, more or less Barracudas. They are more or less Barracudas. So once again, is it a B, C minus, B, C minus, and I think it was B and B minus, right? I think that's what I had. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is our benchmark, guys. This was the same rating we'll be giving to the other planes we talked about. Can't talk much about it. It's just good parallel bombers. They're not the worst. They are one of the oldest ones that are really good. Can't go wrong with it. Now, Fairey Swordfish. Fairey Swordfish, again, has lower damage output this time compared to actual Barracuda, so that's kind of bad. The biggest thing from this is that it has the reduced speed for targets. So it reduces enemy speed by 60 seconds, or 60% for 8 seconds. That's really good. But the issue is that nowadays you don't really need slows nowadays because there's multiple ways to slow things. Like if you're using like if you're doing mob clearing, this is a mob clearing plane. You don't really need the slows. You pretty much just want to like just drop as many bombs as possible and just clear everything out. So even though it is nice on paper, the slow isn't like that great. If it was like converging bombers, that's really good. But these are parallel, so it's not like the greatest or whatever. So in terms of rating, I probably give this lower than Barracuda simply because I'm not a big fan of slows nowadays because everyone has a slow, right? Almost every ship has some kind of slow nowadays, so it's not the best by all means. I am not a fan of it, so giving it actually bossing is not even that bad. I'll give it a C because it gets slow. But everything else though, B minuses, OS, definitely the better ones out there, so I'll give it these ratings for here. I feel like this is fair. It does slow, but again, the damage is just not that great, so I'm not a big fan of it at all. The General Motors TBM Avengers. Now these planes right here have crazy good damage, 398 damage per bomb, which is very, very good. I say these planes can compete with Douglas's. I think Douglas's may get more consistency because it's 4 bombs. But this one right here has increased damage against BBs and BCs by 3% for the ship equipping this aircraft. So that's pretty good. Also has a 60% chance to inflict a flood debuff, which is a dot damage. Flood deals 15% initial hit base damage, plus 10 damage per take 9 seconds. That's actually not that bad. So this plane right here is actually pretty damn good. I probably give it about the same rating as Douglas's because these things offer a really good utility for that dot damage and additional damage to just BB and BCs. Now keep in mind, there aren't many mobs that are BB or BCs, and it's once again a parallel bomber, so you won't get that much value out of it. But it's still nice to see some utility out of this plane because it has 3 torpedo bombs, but it has a lot of damage, so that's really, really good. So I'm gonna give it the same rating as Douglas's. Some people can argue that it's not on the same page as Douglas's. Me personally, though, I think it is on the same page, so we'll give it the same rating as Douglas's just to be fair on that spectrum. Go ahead and sign that. All right, very good. Next one here are Junkers. Junkers right here are my boys. Probably the best converging bombers in the game. The second out of 3 in the game as of right now. 307 on the damage. This is 7 less than Ryuusei's, by the way. 11.17 seconds on the wave, which is very, very fast. If you guys don't already know, that's about 0.5 or something. Actually, no, it's like 0.2. Yeah, 0.2 seconds faster than Ryuusei's. So you can tweak up your aircrafts a bit to see which one wants to go first, which is Junkers. And the damage right here is 300, right? Stuff like that. The big takeaway with Junkers is that it drops really, really close. And I did that one video a couple days ago talking about why Junkers are really, really good. Not only is it more accurate because it drops closer to the enemy target, which means you're most likely to hit. It also gets you into helmet scans much faster because torpedoes have a traveling time, and if the traveling time is closer to the enemy than it is further away, that means there's more opportunities for you to get into those helmet scans. So Junkers dropping closer than Ryuusei's means it's going to travel to the boss faster than Ryuusei's are going to travel to the boss. Well, if you guys don't understand that, I made a video about it. Go watch that. It's about why perma reload is important. Go watch that video. It'll basically help you guys out. But these planes right here are very, very good. I give this the same rating as Ryuusei's, but keep in mind, I definitely do prefer Junkers over Ryuusei's though. But that being said, Ryuusei's do more damage by all means. It's not as consistent, but it does more damage, so can't really give it too much credit, but it's still very, very good. So CA, CB across the board, very good. Same ratings as the Ryusei's. Very, very good. Next, we have the Nakajima's C69 Saiuns, or whatever you want to call them. The third parallel, or the third converging bombers in the game as of right now. These are very fast. You use them primarily if you want to get in for airstrikes, as you can nowadays with Nagato, Saiuns, and like maybe Comets. You can definitely do that nowadays. But until we get another repulse meta fight, nowadays there isn't really a reason to go for airstrikes when you have so much more damage output nowadays for other setups. So it's hard to justify going speed build unless you want to do some kind of crazy memey stuff or like some kind of unique build. You can do that. Again, I'm not a big fan of it because even though it has 427 damage times 2, there's only 2 torpedoes. Whereas the other Ryuusei's and Junkers have 3. So it's not like the best for damage, but it's not the worst. The mods are pretty average as well too. So I give it an A-, mainly because I would rather use Junkers than than Saiuns or whatever, but they're definitely not bad though. Operation assignment, I mean, keep it a B, but for bossing, I definitely give it an A minus because I prefer Junkers and Ryuuseis a lot more compared to the Nakajimas by all means. Now the prototype VIT2, these right here. Now there's 6 torpedoes. They do like paper damage, 236, pretty much mob clearing. Can't really think of other reason to use this plane. By the time you actually build one of these planes, you probably have like a billion other torpedo bombers you can use that are much better. So I can't really justify using this too much, but it's definitely not the worst plane out there. We'll give it B's for farming and campaign and farming. I think you can probably go to B plus, but I'll keep it B's for now. Bossing though, these are horrendous. Operator Siren probably get some use out of it, but not entirely, like a lot. But it's definitely not bad for farming and campaign though, because there's 6 bombs. But by the time you get these, you're probably like at end game already, so it shouldn't matter too much. Now Douglas's and the whatchamacallits, now these I'm not a big fan of. I could talk about these, but for the most part, these are just like rewards from like action from like other stuff. They're about the same thing, honestly. Grumman has 3 torpedoes. This one has 2 torpedoes. I don't really want to cover these planes. They are there, but I don't want to cover them. Personally though, judging by damage alone, 349 for 2 torpedoes is really bad. And 404 for 3 torpedoes is not bad, but it's very slow, so you gotta keep that in mind. But it's definitely not bad though. It's very slow. So personally though, I think this one's alright, so we'll go ahead and do this one, the Grumman ones. I don't want to do the other one because this one's like jank, really bad. But this one's not bad though. I think this was upgrade, right? Yes, upgrade. Not bad. I'll give it a decent review on it. Not like a big fan of it though, but whatever. I think I have some of these. I just never made them because I don't really care about these planes at all. We'll give it B's across the board. Bossing maybe a C minus. OS probably a B. I'll probably give it a B as well too. And lastly, Westland Wyverns. These bad boys right here are king for pretty much most of the content in the game as of right now. So if you guys don't already know, this is one of the easiest accessible UR gear every player can have access to in the game as of right now, because you get them from Gear Labs. And all you need is 9 carrier aircraft prints and you're good to go. These things are crazy good. They have pretty good speed, 401 damage times 4, so 4 torpedoes for 401 damage. These things are crazy. And not only that, these torpedo bombers can intercept enemy planes. That treats it like a fighter. So if you have like Corsairs and Wyverns, these are a very good duo. This is a really good play for pretty much everything. I give it A's across the board except bossing. Bossing, I give it a C plus. But this is a very good plane. You pretty much use this for everything outside of bossing, and it does really well in it. It can serve well in every single campaign map, which is rare, as a torpedo bomber. So that's really good. Has a lot of damage, a lot of wave clear, can intercept planes, can't go wrong with it. These planes are literally one of the best ones in the game by far. Now, personally, would I plus 13 them? No, I said it many times. But at plus 10, it gets the job done, and very well at it. So, once again, gotta say these planes are really good. I should change this though. UR. Okay, perfect. I forgot. These are UR planes. So here is the graph for torpedo bombers. I went through it a little bit faster this time around because most of it is just a Barracuda side grade or whatever. So once again, chart is up here. I'll split it up into converging and parallel bombers. I won't get too into details into like what specifics you want for what scenario. If it's in that same category, it's pretty much about the same thing in terms of like what you can expect. So don't get too carried away. Anyways though, that is the end of these videos, hopefully, unless someone asks for torpedoes, which I really don't want to do, or anti-air, which I really don't want to do. That's the end of guns and planes and other videos I made for this series. Hope you guys enjoyed all those videos up until now. Any questions, feel free to just let me know. As always, spent a lot of time doing these, probably over 4 hours, I think, or 3 or 4 hours. That was fun. The first BB one was like 1 hour, so yeah. Anyways, though, thank you guys for watching. As always, see you guys in the next video. As always.